What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, Spine, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. And break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward, what's going on with the factors involved in the markets, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break any demos information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. And the offer ends very soon in just about 4 days from now. Anyways, looking at NIO, we're kind of range bound right now. We're actually seeing some support where buyers are stepping in at this 4.26 area. And resistance is going to get very, very close to this 4.5 area. So you can see that there are some buyers trying to step in. They're trying to defend NIO, at least in these levels. So the question now remains, what's going to happen moving forward? I'm going to give you guys some predictions and break down some data. Let's first talk about this. For tomorrow, it's going to be Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. Please note that we have industrial production, manufacturing production numbers coming out before the market opens. Then we have Barkin from the Fed giving a speech, not to mention Collins, Kugler, Logan, and a bunch of other ones. And then it's just a bunch of Fed speakers, so whatever they say could affect the market here and there. So we'll watch and see what happens with the industrial numbers and then a bunch of Fed speakers. Now, the fear and greed index is currently at fear. The market is continuing to climb despite the fear because a lot of people are just starting to short the market, expecting it to dip. But once again, with sentiment kind of shifting right now, that's very, very ironic considering that the market momentum is still greedy. And there's still a lot of greed in the market simultaneously as buyers are still stepping in. So momentum is still greedy. We're seeing buyers stepping in, but the overall sentiment is we are greedy, but at the same time, there's some fear building because of the fact that the market's just so high. And then on top of this, the puts and call option positioning is starting to go up just a little bit. We actually saw a little bit more put buy, just a bit more over the last few days. So this is starting to shift a bit. The VIX, however, is still in a very, very weak position. It's still currently in the 12s, which is very, very close to the lows that we saw just a few weeks ago. So the VIX is still looking kind of low, at least moving forward. For earnings, for people who are interested in this, we don't really have anything too big. We just have America's Car Mart. I'm not really going to talk about any of these earnings. CarMax comes out on Friday, so I might talk about that. We'll see. But everything else is very minor. So if you want to play any of these, you could. Otherwise, it is what it is. For NIO, on June 13th, NIO has revealed the all new luxury 6-seat SUV, the EL8, the smart, safe, and more sustainable EL8, which is available in Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, and Sweden for the first time. Not to mention Norway. So that's going to be very important. That's going to help pave the way for NIO's entry into Europe, which is also very, very bullish and awesome news. Now, NIO is also talking about how the semi-solid state EV battery supplier is ramping on its output at the 621-mile range ET7. Very, very awesome stuff, if anything, because they're now using a lot more effective 100 kilowatt batteries right now. And that's going to actually help them reach ranges of close to 1,000 kilometers, which is absolutely insane. So it's actually giving them a lot more recognition, a lot more, credits, if anything. And there's also been a live stream event where, William Lee Ben was actually driving for quite some time, just showing how long the range is with the 150 kilowatt battery. And that's very, very awesome, if anything. With these, NIO semi-solid state battery pack maker is once again just absolutely crushing it. WeLine is the one that's also helping them out with that. That's actually great news for them. So I can't wait to see what else comes out, at least for the future moving forward. Now, volume is currently at about 31 million, very, very low volume, which is why NIO is kind of flat. And the short volume is kind of flat right now. Bank of America Securities has maintained a neutral rating for NIO. Their view has not really shifted much, and the price price ratio is still kind of down here. Looking at the daily seasonality, Tuesdays have a tendency of being green about 55% of the time, and we tend to see more volatility around noon and 1 o'clock p.m. So we'll just have to see how things end up going from here. So as far as NIO goes, NIO has a nice double bottom-like structure. If we break past 4.5, we're going to be looking for a push all the way up towards 4.7. That's going to be very close to our 200 EMA. If we lose 4.3, we'll be dipping back down. So overall, with this nice bullish divergence, there could be a little rebound that comes, but this depends on a bunch of different factors. So I am seeing some potential in NIO. When you look at the 4-hour time frame, the 4 hours also kind of shifting. So I am seeing potential for it to reach this 4.5 right over here. It is trying to bounce off this 4.2 area, very close to filling this gap. So there could be a temporary move to the upside, especially tomorrow. So I think going into tomorrow, we have 4.48s to be tested. If we manage to break that, I think we're going to be pushing back up to about 4.7. But then we'll see if you reject off there or not. But I favor NIO is going to attempt to rebound a bit to 4.48. We're going to look for a temporary bounce before anything else. And that's what's going to most likely happen for tomorrow. Now, for other tickers like SPY, we are still very bullish. If you look at the 4-hour, we're just continuing to hold up very, very well. And then when you look at the daily time frame, SPY also looks very, very strong still. So I think that SPY is still favoring bulls. We've just broken the all-time high. And there's no sign of us breaking down unless we end up losing 546. If we end up losing that, then I think we're going to dip down to 544 to retest the previous all-time high. So if we lose 546, there's going to be a little dip coming. If we hold above it, we could continue to push. And then if we break the all-time high, we're going up to 550. So those are going to be your important levels to be watching for. Break the all-time high right here, then 550 is likely going to be our next target. I think that there's a good chance that could happen if we do continue to break out. And if we end up losing this support, if we end up losing 546, I think we're going to easily come down to 544. So in my personal opinion, we still look bullish. There's no sign of us rejecting yet. I think tomorrow we're going to get a retest of this high. We'll have to see if this breaks or not. So that's going to be our next resistance. So look for a little bit more upside. SPY might test this, and we'll see if we get a rejection or not for a temporary drop. But for now, we are still looking very bullish. There's no sign of this breaking down quite yet. Nvidia has been pushing quite a bit, but now we're starting to chop around. Nvidia has key support at 130. We have resistance at 131.5 and also 132.6. If anything, we're just going back and forth and back and forth. We may just continue to do so. So look for a retest of 132, a move back down to 130, and some sideways price action, at least from the time being. Likely the 4 hours is just going to continue to remain within this range. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin is actually trying to rebound. We have a nice looking double bottom like structure. As we try to balance, we're going to be looking for 67,000. I think it's going to likely test that for a temporary rebound. So this could be forming like an inverse head and shoulders. So look for 67,000 as potential test. For Tesla is looking pretty decent right now. I think that if anything, we have a nice double bottom like structure. And if anything, we're actually testing some tough resistance around this 188 area. If we break through this, then this is going to form like a George W, and then this will likely continue to push all the way up to 200. But we might pull back a bit first before we try to push up to 200. I do favor we're going to be going up to 200 eventually. But to me, it looks like we're going to get a little dip first. We might try to cool off the RSI, cool off some indicators, retest 185 to 186, then continue higher. So look for a little dip before Tesla tries to continue higher. But overall, it looks bullish, and I do see 200 plus coming very soon. For the QQQ, we're on a very, very strong looking option. We're currently at 485. There's no sign of this breaking down yet. So we'll be watching to see how will we hold up. If we lose 484, we'll be looking for a dip all the way back down towards 482. We could dip a bit, then continue higher, but overall, we are still looking very bullish. So it still favors upside for now. Same thing with Apple. Apple's holding up very well. If we were to lose 212, I'll be looking for 210 or lower. And as long as we're above that, as long as we're above 216, we'll be looking for 220 plus. So overall, we are still looking more bullish. For Super Micro, we're actually on a very, very nice looking uptrend right now. This could actually push all the way up towards 900 plus. So we'll be looking for a retest of about 880 before it tries to bounce again to 900 plus. So overall, it's still looking more bullish in my personal opinion. For a few more, like Amazon, we're at 184. As long as we hold above 184, I'm going to be looking for a retest of 186. If we lose 184, we're going to be dipping all the way back down to 182. But I'm seeing very, very nice potential for this to try to continue to push. For Coinbase, if we break past 245, we're going to be pushing all the way up towards 250. And if we reject it, we'll be dipping back down. So I'm seeing, potential for this to try to push up to 250. So far, so good from it. Memes like GameStop and AMC are just trading sideways. GameStop is going to likely test 25, if not 22.5, and then bounce off one of those two. But overall, it's just kind of range bounce. Look for a little drop in the pop. AMC may decline towards the 4.6s, and we'll see if we bounce or not, but it's showing some weakness in my personal opinion. So we'll see how things end up going. Anyways, guys, that is it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. This is your quick update for NIO and the markets. With that being said, I just want to say I really appreciate every single one of you guys so much for listening. So I will see you guys very soon tomorrow for another update video. Until then, take care, guys, and peace out.